In the old pre-two division days. Wigan, well, they hammered the Wembley conquerors Sheffield 44-6 here last Sunday, and this is their team. Radlinski is the fullback, Robinson, Moore, Connolly and Bell the three-quarters, Paul and Smith at half. And the forwards, Cowie, McCormack and Mestrov, Cassidy for the injured Dennis Betts, Horton in the second row, Farrell loose forward and skipper. And on the bench, it's John Clark, Terry O'Connor, Lee Gilmore and Paul Johnson for coach John Money. Now the Rhinos from Leeds. Harris, the captain, has reverted to fullback. Sterling, Blackmore, Godden and Cummins. Darryl Powell comes in at standoff alongside Ryan Sheridan. Powell no doubt there to try and nullify the threat of Henry Paul. Up front, Masella, Newton and Fleary, Morley and Farrell. Mark Glanville is the loose forward. And on the bench, Graham Holroyd, Jamie Matthew, Marcus St. Hilaire and Andy Hay. The coach is Graham Murray. It's a pretty strong substitutes bench for the Leeds Rhinos. Wigan, though, they are smarting from the fact that Leeds beat them at Headingley. And this is the Leeds Rhinos team, the only side to have beaten Wigan in Super League this year. They were pretty impressive when they beat London 34-12 last Friday. Iestyn Harris is about to lead them onto the Central Park stage. And Leeds have won here at Central Park just 3 times in the last 25 years, but only 3 defeats all year in the Super League. 79 tries, but it's on defence where Leeds and Wigan are pretty mean. We'll see the 2 biggest defences in the game tonight. Francis Cummins is not only Leeds' top marksman, he's the top try scorer in Super League this year. And Anthony Farrell will put himself about in the tackling department as well. Ronnie the Rhino leads Iestyn Harris and the Leeds club out. Second in the table. Second achieved only 3 times in the last 25 years, 1980, 1995 and in centenary year 95-96. But when it comes to winning titles, Wigan, well, they have written the textbook. But over the past couple of years, they've had a pretty lean spell of it. But they have blasted all comers this season with the exception of the Rhinos. Their record shows just the 1 defeat all year, and they have 11 straight wins behind them since Leeds beat them at Headingley in May. They've got the best attack and the best defence in the business. 2 men with 20 tries between them, Gary Connolly and Tony Smith. Robbie McCormack does a wonderful job at the hooker. And it was in 1991 that Leeds last won here, 19-0. Since then, it's 9 in a row in League and Cup, the way of Andy Farrell's Wigan Warriors. And out they come to a tremendous reception. As I said at the start of the show, the minor premiership is a brand new phrase in the British game. Wigan have been simply the best for so many years under the old system. Steve-O, can they take out the minor premiership and do what Dennis Betts wants them to do? Prove then that they're the best in the game at Old Trafford.
Well, the way they've been playing over the past couple of weeks, yes, they must feel very confident. But do not write off Leeds and Darryl Powell. What a job that he has on his hands tonight. He's there with specific instructions from his coach Graham Murray to shut down Henry Paul, the Kiwi wonder. It will not be easy. Henry Paul is in absolutely scintillating form. And not only that, after tonight's game, he will sit down with his coach, John Money, and seek out his future. Will he be here at Central Park next year or not?
Match referee Stuart Cummings is just about ready, and so is everybody inside this ground and no doubt watching on their TV sets around the country. You know, it was 1929 and Wigan were the first ever winners at Wembley in the Challenge Cup final. Will they be the first ever grand final winners at Old Trafford in 1998? Leeds will have a big say about that, I fancy, in the weeks that lie ahead. And they can take a huge psychological boost from victory in this match into the playoff series. Can they manage it? Iestyn Harris gets us underway. It's a high hanging kickoff. Oh, McCormack makes a meal of it. And there's the first mistake of the match. And Robin McCormack, what's more, is flat out.
Well, it was taken out after he dropped the football. Matthew caught one too. You can see Morley swinging the arm. It was a malicious attempt there by Morley. Watch this, crunch, he missed him. He caught him with the shoulder, the swinging arm, and the hooker, Robbie McCormack, is in Disneyland. He doesn't know where he is at all. Morley, well, we knew it was going to be fiery in the opening exchanges, but that was outrageous.
Well, the referee called his touch judge on. We've already had the first stoppage of the clock, 29 minutes, while McCormack receives attention. 29 seconds. 29 seconds of the game gone. McCormack groggily gets back to his feet. Oh, and he cannot take his place in this scrum. John Clark will no doubt come on for him. And the referee has called the touch judge on the far side over to him. Now the captains will be brought, and I rather fancy that incident will go on report.
Well, he didn't make contact, did he? With the arm, but he certainly did with the shoulder.
I rather fancy Stuart Cummings missed that, you know. He took his place on this side of the scrum, and I think he saw our replays on the big screen. I'm not so sure.
Well, he's not allowed to look, is he? But I said before, this new innovation where there's a man in the stand can talk to the referee. I'm sure he was looking at the replay.
So John Clark is a hooker. He comes on for Robbie McCormack, but that's a blow for Wigan right at the start of this match. This is Fleary now, and he is hauled to the ground.
Well, Cowie didn't miss either. He gave him a facial.
This is Sheridan. He then finds Harris. Out wide it goes to Blackmore. Blackmore using his strength almost over the line, but the Wigan reinforcements arrive, and he's bundled towards the touch.
Did well to keep him in there. They rushed to the aid there of Blackmore.
Sheridan to Masella. Henry Paul comes out to meet him. That's the last tackle. Terrific Wigan defence this is. Harris now goes down the blind side, and he finds only the touchline off the boot of Paul Sterling. Actually, I'm not so sure that Sterling didn't miss kick completely, but Wigan have repelled all borders.
Well, it was a poor pass, you could see there. It was dipping right at the last moment. Nothing that Sterling could do about it. Looking to get away with that, but what a great hit by Henry Paul.
So Wigan in possession. John Clark gets to his feet, plays the ball as we look at the head-to-head over the past 25 years. Wigan with an overwhelming advantage, 33 wins, and on this ground, 21 victories from 24 games. Such is the size of Leeds' task.
Blackmore, he said he ducked into it. Either way, he caught him. Swinging out over the top. And you can see that the first impact was on the shoulder of Robinson, finished up in the face. It's going to be one of those nights.
Well, it was always tipped to be a fiery encounter, this.
Well, we saw at Headingley when Leeds pulled off that shock win, that they really did get into the face of the Wigan Stars that night. Especially this man here, Andy Farrell. They diffused him throughout the game. And when you can do that, you're always in with a chance.
So Wigan with the football in their hands again. Cassidy in the head guard, gets to his feet. Clark was the dummy half. He finds Smith, who finds Cowie, and Paul has put it down. It was an awful pass. This is Morley, and Morley brushes off Radlinski. He's still going, and Radlinski gets back to him. But why didn't he pass? Godden from dummy half. Out wide it goes. This is Cummings. Cummings is hauled back by Robinson, and also there was Simon Horton. Godden again at dummy half. He gives it to Morley.
Well, he's involved in everything, isn't he? The second row, Adrian Morley, got reported within 30 seconds. It was a beautiful break by him, though.
Sheridan to Harris. They're trying again down that side, and Blackmore puts the ball down. Graham Murray at the back of the stand here at Central Park won't be happy with this.
The Kiwi looked at his opposite number there. He could see Danny Moore zoning in. Well, nerves playing its part. A lot of tension here. Pass was okay. You could see he was just turning his head to look at Moore. But it was a bad mistake by this man carrying the football, Henry Paul.
Well, we saw Robbie McCormack going out of this game looking concussed after just half a minute. Let's find out the very latest with Bill on the touchline.
Yes, Eddie, he did look pretty groggy after that early challenge from Adrian Morley. Thankfully, it's nothing too serious other than grogginess. There he is now, Robbie McCormack. A quick whiff of the smelling salts from the Wigan doctor. He should be okay to come back on.
That's good news. Harris fumbles it, but the ball went backwards. Referee says play on, and rightly. Harris then gives it to Francis Cummins, top scorer in the Super League, Cummins, and he has got no less than 14 tries to his name. Here's his opposite winger, Paul Sterling. He, though, is grounded. Good tackling there by Horton. The match being played already at breakneck pace, and Marcella just shoulder charged Tony Smith off him. Glanville to Morley again, and he pushes Andy Farrell off, but then four are attracted to Morley, and they eventually get him down. Newton is the dummy half. This is Sheridan. Out wide it goes to Farrell, and Farrell tries to straighten it up, but great defence again from Wigan. On the halfway line, Harris will scamper away down the blind side. That's the last tackle for Leeds. Blackmore to Sheridan, to Powell, and Powell will put boot to ball and aim it towards the corner, but, well, Robinson decided not to take the gamble and picked up, and it's a good chase from Leeds.
Probably took the wrong option there, Jason Robinson. That was really far too strong by Powell. Looks as though they're mixing the kicking game as well. Ryan Sheridan offloaded to the standoff. There's a big ask there by Graham Murray to put Daryl Powell in for his defensive quality.
Well, it's his first appearance at standoff for Leeds, but he has, of course, been capped there for his country several times.
He's no stranger to it, that is for sure, and I'm sure that Graham Murray also wanted Justin Harris to have more room so he can get onto a big run.
Well, are we watching a rehearsal, a dress rehearsal for the grand final? Saturday, the 24th of October at Old Trafford. The game will start at 6:30 in the evening. If you need any more information than that, 0113 234 4455 during normal office hours, Monday to Friday. Great chase downfield there by Henry Paul, and he clattered Justin Harris.
So was a kick by Andy Farrell. Wigan just having the slight advantage of this breeze in this first half. And that's the second occasion that the Wigan skipper has turned around Justin Harris, the Leeds full-back.
Marcella now for Leeds. Good defence again. Mestrov in there quickly. Also there, John Clark. Now Darren Fleary. And Fleary can't get away from the young Clark. Clark only 19, but an academy international. One for the future, but very much for the present now at Wigan, with Robbie McCormack off and concussed. 7 minutes of the match gone. 0-0. Sheridan. He kicks towards the corner. And this time Robinson will allow the ball to run dead.
Once again, a little bit too strong. Took the right option on that occasion. As Eddie mentioned just before the kickoff, Jason Robinson not really being at his sparkling best. With Dennis Betts also saying that he's looking towards Robinson to explode tonight. They'll need him. Chances will be few and far between. Defences will be on top throughout.
Henry Paul looking to claim a penalty. Just holds his arms out, imploring the referee Stuart Cummings to blow the whistle. None forthcoming, so Cowie takes the tackle, and then Godden is penalised for lying all over the big prop forward.
Well, he's making his presence felt is the referee Stuart Cummings, and you can see there that Godden just had a little bit of a dig underneath. And the rule states you must roll away. Well, spotted by Cummings.
Mick Cassidy. Good tackling by Daryl Powell. That's what he's there for, his defensive qualities, but also he gives Graham Murray so many options later in the game if needed. This is Farrell now. Newton missed him, he got it to Cowie. Wigan is standing still. Radlinski was chased by Newton, who got a good tackle in.
Pretty fancy from Wigan there. They did a double switch on the inside, and I think Farrell just overrun it.
Clark again, Tony Smith. Smith trying to get a gap in that Leeds defence, but again Marcella is in there quickly, and Daryl Powell once more. Now Mestrov, recently signed a new 2-year deal to stay here at Central Park. Certainly Wigan's first choice prop forward in Super League 3. Farrell will drift the kick over the top, looking to get it on the inside of Paul Sterling, and Paul Sterling took a huge gamble there with Mark Bell hunting.
I got the impression that Mark Bell was just in front of the kicker there. It was about half a metre in front there, but Sterling was pretty cool about it.
Mark Bell, 2 tries against London 2 weeks ago. He clinched the victory by 18 points to 15. He missed the defeat at Headingley, by the way, Mark Bell, the 31-year-old Wigan winger. This is Justin Harris. Cassidy got to him high, and Danny Moore was low down. Now Glanville for Leeds. Great defence again from Wigan. Paul and Farrell. Newton dummy half.
This Wigan defence swarming all over Leeds, forcing them into just one-out football. And they're still caught in their own quarter. This will be in the kick. There'll be a problem for them.
Anthony Farrell, but he's trapped again. It's sensational Wigan defence. They started shakily, knocked out of their stride with the concussion for Robbie McCormack. But they look as though they're back on track now, but Leeds are running this last tackle. Beautiful ball from Powell. Glanville gets it inside then to Godden, and Godden, good ball to Cummins, who loses his footing, keeps the movement going though, but it bounces off the arms of Glanville, and Wigan have got it back in the shape of Connolly.
Sensational play there by Leeds, but it was just spoilt at the last moment, trying to force the pass. Glanville couldn't bring it in. Godden it was, and he slipped there, did Cummings, the winger. Well, that's two opportunities that Leeds have had. They've broken the Wigan defence and yet have failed to put points on the board.
Clark does well, he gets the ball away.
Oh, big hit there, Fleury.
Oh, I tell you what, Danny Moore felt that.
He doesn't know where he is.
He's taken a nasty knock. Smith was almost through. Newton got to him. He keeps the movement going though to Paul. Leeds are swarming all over Wigan when they're in possession, and it has to be said vice versa. What a start. Well, what an 11 minutes we've had here.
This is it. Fleury went bang. Oh, dearie me. Just jolted him back.
Great kick from Farrell. It's a high and it's a hanging kick. Cummins is underneath it though, claims it well. This will be the zero tackle.
Oh, Cassidy swinging arm.
Yes,
this is going to boil over soon. Stuart Cummins has to keep an eagle eye on this. Well taken by Francis Cummins. The kick was just a little bit too far, and Cassidy did not miss.
Mick Cassidy, 12 as a substitute this year. By the looks of things, Francis Cummins has got a bloody nose.
Cassidy looks as though he's been in the wars already. Well, we've already seen McCormack get flattened within 30 seconds.
But Danny Moore has gone off as well. He has been replaced by Paul Johnson. So there are huge problems here for Wigan in the opening 12 minutes. 2 changes already because of injury.
It will not be pleasing the Wigan coach, John Money. It really does unsettle things. McCormack, of course, has been in fine form throughout this year.
Here's Anthony Farrell. 2 great tackles there on the bounce by Mick Cassidy. Newton to Sheridan. Sheridan to Darryl Powell. And Darryl Powell dumped to the ground. John Money and Andy Goodway. That, of course, is where Steve-O was at the start of tonight's programme. The view from the crow's nest here at Wigan. John Money's view of proceedings. Harris, lovely kick. Radlinski did well. He was so brave then. He defused the bombing goal. Look at the traffic that was coming towards him.
Unbelievable take there by Radlinski. Without doubt, one of the best full-backs in Super League. And what a competition it will be against these 2 great players. Justin Harris, Radlinski, both playing at full-back, of course. Harris been put there so he's got a little bit more room to move. But I wonder, Eddie, when will Graham Merry use the ploy that was so successful when they beat Wigan at Headingley, when they bring Justin Harris from the full-back position to the standoff?
Well, not just yet, obviously. Another big hit. Morley was in there so quickly, and Cummins also. And Andy Farrell really felt that. This now is Cassidy, tackled by Morley.
He's putting himself about, isn't he, Adrian Morley? He adds a new dimension to this Leeds pack.
Well, he's one of the best young stars running around in Super League at the moment. Here's another Harris who gets away from 2. Robinson comes back though and gets him at the second attempt. Cummins, remember Francis Cummins isn't so old either. He's only 21, the England international. Referee calls time off. He wants someone to go to the blood bin. I think it's Francis Cummins with that bloody nose. From the high tackle. It is from Mick Cassidy earlier.
Well, I think the referee, Stuart Cummings, will be bringing that little green number out several times.
Marcus St. Hilaire comes on.
Here we go, guys. 1 tackle. First tackle. Okay.
Referee restarts the clock and Leeds restart the game. Newton disappears under the challenge from Cassidy and Cowie. Got dummy half. Farrell's there. Farrell gets the pass away. It bounces in front of Harris, and Harris trying to use the space ahead of him. He keeps the movement going. Here's Morley again. Danger for Wigan every time this fella gets it. One of the best, as I say, youngsters knocking round and growing in stature every week. Masella now. Great run from Masella too. Big, brave prop forward this is.
You can see how the Wigan defence is moving up, and therefore the little kick over the top has got to be on by Leeds.
Blackmore flicks the ball back. Glanville fumbles, but it went backwards. He was then swallowed up by Henry Paul. Last tackle here for Leeds. They've lost a bit of ground. Sheridan, he'll try the kick through. Brilliant from Sheridan. Ball on the inside to Powell. Wonderful tackle from Radlinsky. Oh, that was great stuff from both sides.
Tremendous thinking there. So quick, Sheridan got the bounce, but what an amazing defensive effort by Chris Radlinsky. A couple of minutes ago, he took a magnificent bomb under low-flying aircraft, and then he pulls off a tackle like that.
And here he is now joining the attacking line. Glanville got to him then. Clark was the dummy half. Farrell, ball back on the inside to Horton. Horton flicked the ball inside again, but there was a fingertip there by Fleary, I think it was.
It'll be the first knock on. Head and feed, there you saw it, the left fingers coming out and just deflecting the ball to the ground. But what pace this game is being played.
It is being played at breakneck pace, isn't it?
The crowd erupted within those first seconds when McCormack was flattened by Morley.
This is a totally different Leeds than we have seen recently here at Central Park, where they have done it oh so tough. 68-14 in 96 and beaten again, of course, last year. That's a penalty to Leeds.
Another
Morley
big hit
was
from
all
Morley.
over him again.
Well, I think he hit Cowie so hard, Cowie didn't know what he was doing.
Play the ball, carry on play.
He just is going around like an Exocet missile, this guy. Bang! And Cowie didn't know what he was doing, he just rolled it back. Never got his foot anywhere near to it.
So what an opportunity here for Leeds. This is Fleary. Newton, dummy half. Glanville taking on Clark and bouncing him out of the way.
Well, if this continues, none of the mothers will know him.
Sheridan to Powell. Powell then infield to Blackmore. Angled run from Richie Blackmore. Leeds now in the 20-metre zone. Blackmore plays the ball to Newton. He finds Masella. Masella will go on the charge. Good tackling from John Clark. Newton again. Sheridan. Fleary. And Fleary's all wrapped up. That's the last tackle, and Leeds are 3 metres short of the Wigan line. This is Harris. One goal, 1 pointer from Iestyn Harris. A drop goal from Harris. Leeds will take something from that attack anyway.
Good thinking as well. The Welsh international, he knew exactly where it was going to go. Bang, it went over. See how he gave himself plenty of room. No chance for Wigan to apply the pressure. Quick thinking, improving week by week, this man. An amazing talent, still only young.
John Money has got a rather worried look on his face. And Graham Murray has done so much to transform this Leeds side in Super League 3 with stars like this. Iestyn Harris. Well, let's hear about Wigan's injured, this time Danny Moore. Here's Bill.
Well, the picture sums it up. A disconsolate looking Danny Moore sitting there on the Wigan bench, and the news is that it could be knee ligament damage. It seems to be contagious in the Wigan camp at the moment. Dennis Betts in our commentary box, of course, recovering from that injury, and it looks as though Moore will play no further part tonight.
Problems mounting then for Wigan for so long and for so many years, Steve-O. They go through a season, particularly in the John Money era, without injuries. But they've got 2 bad knee ligaments there. This, though, is Connolly. Connolly springs from defence to attack. Ball on the inside. They put it down. He put it down then. And the referee will again play the first knock-on. It had to be against Paul Johnson, too.
Paul Johnson supporting back on the inside. Connolly did the right thing. See how he just sucks in the full back. And I think they're claiming that it was Sterling that got a fingertip to it. Nice break though on the arc there from Connolly. And they're claiming on that far side that it was Sterling that actually touched the ball. That's why they were booing the referee.
Darryl Powell takes the first tackle from Andy Farrell. Here now is Iestyn Harris. He dances away from a bit of trouble, finds Glanville. Glanville's dumped to the ground. Cassidy, the tackler there. Here's Fleary. 3 tackles gone for Leeds. What ground have they made? 25 metres. Anthony Farrell now. Newton to Sheridan, to Harris. Good ball inside. Morley, this time he's wrapped up. Gets the pass away though. Leeds will continue this attack with Fleary. Oh, that was a great tackle from Cowie.
Had to be as well. Fleary was half through.
Newton comes back this way to Sheridan. Sheridan to Fleary. Out the back door to Harris. Over the top it goes to Masella. Masella dumps it back to Morley. Morley flicks it only to Robinson, who knocks on. Mistake. But was it a forward pass? It was.
They've got to take the forward pass first. Morley trying to get the ball around the man. Made no difference that Robinson did eventually knock on. But Wigan, they are on the rack. 2 of their key players already off the field. The man that makes everything tick around the play the ball area, McCormack, he was off after 30 seconds. Danny Moore has joined him.
And Simon Horton now off the field as well for Lee Gilmore. Wonder if that's tactics. Maybe Bill will check for us and we'll find out later. Midway through this first half. And Wigan up against it here, you get the feeling. Leeds, well, motivation is enough to come to Central Park, and having beaten Wigan once already at Headingley, Graham Murray, I don't think, had to bother with a team talk.
I think you're right there. And for years, Leeds have often been prodded and poked and thrown abuse at by saying that they're a soft outfit. Not anymore. They are blasting into this Wigan outfit.
Halifax Bradford, of course, will have all the intensity and more of this one, you feel, on Sunday at 6:30. Sky Sports 1, when the reigning champions of 97, the Bulls, simply have to win against the Halifax Blue Sox, who have only lost once at home this season, and that to this Wigan side. And they've got Sheffield right on their backs, who are leading 8-0 after 20 minutes at Don Valley against the Salford Reds. It's boiling up in Super League 3. This is Mark Bell, ankle tap, but he still keeps going.
Good effort by the winger. It was a great kick though by Darryl Powell. Turned Redlinski around. He kicked early in the tackle count. Redlinski was well up there. Elbows are going in. Big hits all over the joint.
Robinson took a bang on the back of the head then as well. This is Farrell. Oh, Farrell. What a big hit, but he gets the ball away just the same to Connolly, who gets it away also now to Cowie under pressure. Leeds are tackling like demons. Clark to Mestrov. They stood their ground. It was Morley. No, it was Masella. The penalty. Penalty for the second effort by Masella.
Just make sure you stand up.
Just had a second push on him.
You've got it that time, just make sure you stand up.
See how he went over the top. You've got to move away from the area. Mestrov appeals to the referee. Cummings had already blown at this point. Well, can they hang on? Wigan have been blitzed with injuries early. Leeds are really taking it to them. This will show the true character of all the players out there. No place to hide.
None at all. Henry Paul to Smith to Radlinski. Farrell straightens them up. They go down the short side with Cassidy, but he's watched all the way by Blackmore and Sheridan. John Clark to Mestrov again. He disappears under the challenge. Morley taking a piggyback. He could have been penalised then. Referee says get on with it. Farrell. Long pass. Henry Paul. Great run. Looks for support. Radlinski was there. Radlinski loses it.
Play the knock on. No advantage to Leeds.
Radlinski claiming the ball went backwards.
Great support play. What a wonderful pass there from Paul.
Went forwards first. Pushed it back, Radlinski, but the ball definitely went forward. Well,
talk about value for money.
I was going to say,
this is unbelievable stuff.
You want an advert for Super League and the inaugural grand final? You're watching it right here on Sky Sports. Only 2 points at stake here. No silverware. Imagine what it will be like on the 24th of October. Blackmore tries to get away from Johnson. Bell was in there quickly. Newton, the dummy half. Powell, Matthew just on. Fresh legs in the Leeds pack.
That'll play an important role for both sides, of course, their coaches, when they start ringing the changes.
Well, we're going to have to make 3 already.
John Morley have had no option with those 2 injuries.
Morley, he was looking there as though he was leading with the elbow.
Big stuff there, got the ball away as well.
Godden, lovely run from Godden. Out wide it goes to St. Hilaire. And he's all wrapped up by Robinson.
Super stuff by Harris there. How he got that ball away was quite amazing.
Here's Harris again, puts the kick in out wide. Hangs in the air. The ball's packed down to Paul Sterling. Sterling taking them on. Flicks it back. And Cowie was there to pick up the pieces for Wigan.
It was on the last. He took the gamble, did the winger Paul Sterling. You could see him just flash past, try to get back into the position. Oh, there's a bit of knees going in there on Gilmore. He would have felt that.
Cassidy wrestled to the floor by Newton. And the referee has got them for the knock-on. And Newton gets a big pat on the back from Jamie Matthew. And he will from his coach too.
Your head's down to your knees.
That was another big hit there by Cherry Newton. The sheer impact as he hit the ground. Lost control there, did Cassidy.
Anthony Farrell is coming off while we take a look at Mick Cassidy. And Andy Hay comes on. Well, 25 and a half minutes. The game played at such ferocious pace. It's hardly any wonder we've seen so many changes by the coaches. I know a couple are for injury. But these players, their bodies are well and truly on the line tonight, and they're playing this at 100 miles an hour.
Well, I don't know what music they were playing, but this is the Black and Blue brothers.
Matthew, dumped to the ground by Cassidy. Newton dummy half. Sheridan threatening the Wigan line again. Morley looking to offload.
Great defence there. They spotted that Morley was coming on the second phase of attack.
Something happened there. Morley wasn't too impressed. This is Powell. Straightens it up, flicks it back to Hay. He flicks it back to Harris. Out wide it goes to Sterling. Chance here for Sterling. Opportunity closed momentarily. Sterling still going. Paul Sterling still going and within 2 metres of the line. Last tackle here for Leeds. Harris slides the kick through looking for Matthew. And it was Radlinski's hand that got to it. Drop out underneath the Wigan sticks.
Good option, neat little kick there behind the line of defence. Harris it was. Look at Radlinski. Determination etched on his face. I've got to get there, I've got to get there. And he did before that fella, Matthew. Well, they're ringing the changes, Leeds, with their tactics. Dummy runner running around, bring him back on the angle. We can see Harris using the arc, as he's done so often this season.
Morley will run the ball back in the ball.
Oh, he's out cold. Out cold. No need to count that one. The crowd are up there, and full credit to Morley. He's trying to get up onto his feet. This is a knockout and a half. Was it fair? That's a big question. Was that a shoulder or was it an elbow poking out there? This is Morley. That is an awful one from Cassidy. That is one of the worst I have ever seen in the game of rugby league. I cannot believe that no one has seen that.
Well,
How the man is even talking. That was disgraceful, Eddie.
Well, it was. The only thing you can say in mitigation to the referee and touch judge is that that was at 100 miles an hour. And the elbow certainly came up, and our replays have picked it.
There was no attempt to make a tackle.
Oh, look at the eye on Adrian Morley.
He just raised the elbow with the intent to inflict injury. That has got nothing to do with tackling in rugby league football. It's tough without this. That is just malicious. I can't say any other word for it. It is disgraceful.
Well, the crowd's reaction, I think, will say it all.
I couldn't tell where he hit him or how.
The referee is having a word with
where he hit him or how
his
he hit
touch
him.
judge,
But the way he went down,
and Morley
the way
goes
he went
off.
down suggesting it wasn't a fair tackle. I would suggest you put the incident on report.
Okay, have a penalty then.
The touch judge suggests to referee Stuart Cummings that the referee puts the incident on report.
Penalty, sir.
And it's got to be a penalty if he does that. I think that's what Stuart Cummings is saying now.
Let's go back down here, please.
Well,
Cassidy has been caught on camera, and I think John Money knows as well.
Andy, yes, it.
he has completely lost his cool. He's not usually that type of player. I've never seen it from.
And Farrell and Harris now are verbaling each other.
Move away. Come on. Hey, yes.
Well, they came with a mission, did Leeds. We knew it was going to be tough, but I do not condone that. He looks calm and collected, does Graham Murray. I'm not. That was disgraceful.
I don't know who the player was in there, so I'm going to put that on report, and the penalty's going to Leeds here. Okay? So that's what's happening. There's the report.
There was a. This is what is going to be looked at later on, and Mr. Cassidy is going to be in some trouble. And I think Mick Cassidy, having seen the replays, he knows it too. Well, Andy Farrell and Iestyn Harris were discussing that incident all the way to the referee, and Andy Farrell wasn't too impressed with the protest that Harris led to the official Stuart Cummings. But having seen it 4 and 5 times, Mick Cassidy is lucky to still be on the pitch.
The mere fact he made no attempt to involve himself in a tackle. He had 2 men either side of him. They went for the man. He decided to go in the middle in the most atrocious way.
Well, Harris will now try and put the catcalls to the back of his mind and try and kick this goal for Leeds. It's got a chance. It's got 2 points. Leeds increase their advantage to 3. Wigan 0, Leeds 3. That, I'm afraid, will be the biggest talking point of this match. And John Money does not look terribly impressed with the whole affair.
And I don't think Graham Murray will be too impressed either. Okay, they may have got 2 vital points in a tight game, but what effect will it have on Morley now?
Well, let's find out. Bill's on the touchline, has been watching the proceedings on the bench. Bill?
Adrian Morley, meanwhile, back in the Leeds dressing room, and he'll be having stitches in there. You can just see him in the bottom of your picture, and quite a few stitches, I should imagine. But the good news is he looks completely out of it to start with, but according to the Leeds physio team, he's still with it. He's just got a very sore eye.
And he's in the blood bin. Sir Francis Cummings returns.
Well, it's amazing that there's no real major damage to the big fella's face, Adrian Morley.
Cassidy.
He'll get a warm reception every time he gets a football.
Well, what we don't want is another incident now against him. That would certainly tarnish the image of this match.
Well, that's where Graham Murray, the Leeds coach, must get it out to their players. Composure is the key. Do not get sucked into it. Whilst Wigan are wobbling, we must play open football. We've got to catch them out while their minds are not concentrating on their game plan. And it must have some effect for them. They know it was a bad one.
This is Farrell, Anthony Farrell of Leeds. He flicks the pass away. Newton gets the ball away to Powell. A looping pass out wide then to Cummings. And Henry Paul now claiming that Cummings was using the elbow.
He certainly led with it. Paul caught it right on the nose.
Matthew.
I just fear for this match that it could explode. It's a big ask now by the referee, Stuart Cummings. There's another elbow going in. It is going to go absolutely bananas, this.
It's a big test of the players. It's a big test of the referee.
Forward that was. The crowd helped the referee, but the referee already had the whistle going towards his mouth. See the high shot. Just half a metre in front.
The penalty here.
The referee now gives Wigan a penalty for second effort at the play the ball.
Well, you need nerves of steel sometimes, and you've got to feel a little bit for the official, Stuart Cummings. It's a hotbed out there.
It is.
Players are looking for revenge. Coaches want them to get back onto the game plan.
Lovely ball from Radlinski to Farrell. He's stopped in his tracks by the tackle from Matthew. Clark to Henry Paul. And Henry Paul angled run. And what a tackle it was on Connolly by Sheridan. Here's Henry Paul again. Back it goes to Clark. He then looks for support. It arrives from Smith. Almost through Smith. Great tackle from Glanville. John Clark dummy half. Andy Farrell slides the kick through.
Too strong. He knows it too. A little bit of pressure there. Farrell went across him.
Well, it's boiled this match for 34 minutes or thereabouts. Andy Hay.
Work there by Henry Paul.
Level pegging between the two sides in terms of possession. Leeds ahead though 3-0. Newton to Farrell. Feature of the Leeds game in this first half is the fact that they've been able to stand in the tackle and flick the ball away, Steve-O.
Upper body strength have been going through. They know that Wigan are going pretty high. So with the twist just as they make the impact.
Powell. Kick over the top. Good kick too. Well, he's got all the experience in the world as Darryl Powell. 33 Great Britain caps and 6 for England.
Not happy with it. He wanted it further into the corner. He didn't want it to go into touch. Wanted to try to turn the Wigan defence around. Well, you can see the players. They're out on their feet now.
10-2 at the Don Valley for the Sheffield Eagles. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Same here. 5 to go first half. 3-0. Leeds are ahead.
Well, they don't want to rush it, Leeds. They say, hang on, let's get a bit of oxygen.
Well, the match has really been played at breakneck speed from the very first whistle from Stuart Cummings. This is Johnson. Tried to hop away from Glanville. Glanville held on. Clark to Farrell. Farrell tackled by Andy Hay. Now Mestrov. That's high.
Swinging high by Powell. Well, he was there to do a job. Mestrov has a push at him. Powell says, come on. When you look at the size of either of them, one against the other. I think I'd have a word.
It wasn't Powell, actually.
Either way, he took it out on Powell. This is a big chance now for Wigan. Oh,
no, it isn't. He's put the ball down.
Well, that's a typical example of a player that perhaps is not thinking about the match plan. You could see he was looking as to what the defence had in store for him.
Well,
it's been that game.
It has, and Mark Bell has had a word with the referee, and the referee pointed at him and said, keep it shut. I don't think it was Cowie he was talking to. I think the Australian winger came in and said something.
Well, I don't think he would have said it with that accent, shut, but I know what you mean. Oh, this really is tense times. The pressure out there is enormous.
And if it's like this, Steve-O, for 2 points, the Lord alone knows what it's going to be like at the grand final in Old Trafford.
Well, I've got the tingle already. Oh, big hit there. Paul went in, put the shoulder, and Matthew felt that one.
Glanville, Godden steps away from trouble again, flicks the ball to Powell. He gives it to Matthew. Matthew to Fleary. And Fleary takes them on again down the middle.
Super stuff there. There you see the hit from Paul. It was all fair and square. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, it's a great tackle from Henry Paul. Adrian Morley back on the bench waiting to come back into the action. Darryl Powell wrapped up by Farrell and Paul. Well, if Henry Paul's playing for a new contract, he's having the game of his life. Harris slides the kick through again. Bell's there. He cleans up. And Andy Hay saying Bell has put the ball down.
Well, he juggled with it. Still kept hold of it all the time. They really are getting into it now.
And it's a knock on against Wigan again. Matthew comes up smiling. They're going to get possession from this scrum.
This is crash bang wallop. There's Hayes swinging arm. He could have been penalised for that. And then Matthew came up with a real zinger. Oh, there's stonkers all over the joint here.
Leeds with the possession. This is Harris. Lovely ball back to Sheridan. Brilliantly watched by Tony Smith. Newton, Andy Hay scored a try, of course, against Wigan at Headingley that wrapped up the match just about for Leeds. Sheridan to Farrell. Connolly came out to try and stop that pass, and he came up with the ball, and Mestrov's dropped on it.
Just trying to be a little bit too fancy there, Leeds, but full credit to them. In the hotbed atmosphere, they're keeping this ball alive. It really was never on. You could see that Connolly had put himself in between. Oh, there's a clash of heads. Newton's down.
This is Clark. Farrell to Connolly. Almost got away from Godden, but couldn't get away from Glanville, who was second man in. Robinson to Farrell. Kick from Farrell downfield. Oh, this is rough. This is tough, but it's compelling, isn't it?
Tremendous defence from both sides. Well, we said before the game started that there'd be very few chances out there. Wigan have had one, clear one. Leeds have had two, but it's still 3-0.
The word from Adrian Morley, apparently, is that he is looking forward to returning to the action as quickly as possible.
Good work by Connolly there, reefed the ball down, it went backwards. That's the reason why it was play on. So strong is Gary Connolly.
Robinson to Paul, to Mestrov, back to Paul. Misses out Cassidy, it bounces all on the ground, and Radlitsky. Good tackle from Darryl Powell.
That's why they brought him into the standoff position, to do just that. Make sure the defence is solid.
Gilmore. John Clark, dummy half. Mestrov will trundle it forward again. Gets the pass away to Cowie. Over the top it goes from Cowie. Cowie puts boot to it. Bits are picked up by Gilmore. And Gilmore on a darting run. They're screaming for it out wide here, Robinson and Connolly. And Farrell has it. He might put boot to ball and look for them. He has. It's a high hanging kick. Cummings has spilled it. And the ball goes dead.
They gave him plenty of protection there. You could see Sheridan made sure that he went across the line of the advancing run from the Wigan players. What a first half.
Absolutely electric. Mick Cassidy is certainly the main talking point, and that's why Adrian Morley has got the shiner above the left eye. Iestyn Harris, the man who scored all three Leeds points with a drop goal and the penalty. Leeds are ahead by 3 points to 0. McCormack lasted 29 seconds. He went off concussed. It has been that sort of game, and it's been like that from start to finish. 3-0, Leeds are ahead. This is the big talking point, though. About